Hello dear viewer, I'm leesusss, and welcome to me talking about something a little different. The topic of copyright strikes, and copyright in general, of music, primarily, on YouTube. These are not the sort of videos I normally do. Normally I just mess around playing games and talking rubbish, but this was a subject that arose recently and has been an issue a few times for me, so I thought I'd just like to talk about it. And it also involves a company called The Orchard, who have had various different levels of response on YouTube, and I wanted to add my tuppence worth to it. Okay, so forgive me for a little intro, but copyright is not usually a problem for me on YouTube. I tend not to put in-game music running on my games. It's for various reasons. I don't. For most of the time, I prefer my immersion. If I'm playing a game, Oblivion's a good past example. You know, I don't want to know when something's attacking me because the music has suddenly kicked in. There's something approaching because the music's got all dramatic. What's happening? I don't want to know that. I want to experience as I go, and only occasionally do I find music adds to those sort of experiences. Other games, it does. Also, in the past, I've had problems with music. So, a long time ago, I had a Let's Play of American McGee's Alice. A very hard game, and I was playing on an extremely hard level. And then after recording huge amounts of it, I ended up learning and discovered that the soundtrack that had been recorded for the game was claimed by somebody, probably rightly so, unfortunately, in this case, because it had been made particularly for the game, and I'd have to re-record all my episodes. And I started to, and I'd lost the will to live because it was too hard to do it. So I just scrapped the whole thing. So I tend to not put music in the game, but I do sometimes. I do occasionally. And in the past, there have been very minor annoyances. I had, in a very brief part of jazz punk, Rimsky-Korsakov's Flight of the Bumblebee. And so, a fairly innocuous piece of music that was in one mini-game part of the game. And some toe-rag tried to say that they claimed it, which is interesting because that's a very old piece of music. No one has got the copyright to the Flight of the Bumblebee. And in case you're not aware, the procedure to go through in such a case is that you see that your video has been marked as copyright in your video manager, and what you do is you start a dispute, and that immediately takes away all claiming all chances for anyone to claim any money on the video. No one can claim any money from adverts placed on monetization placed on the video, and you go through a process where you simply say that you answer simple questions on YouTube where you say, this is why I think this is not copyright. Okay, and it was fairly straightforward for that. Flight of the Bumblebee is common usage. You know, anyone can use it. It's completely open now. There's no copyright. It's too old a piece of music, and in the majority of cases where I've had that before, they've gone through and they may take a while to go through, but basically YouTube goes, yeah, you're right. It's not copyright at all, and the person goes away, and then you can monetize again if you want to. Now, of course, I don't monetize my videos, which makes things a lot easier for me as well. The period in which no one can monetize the video can be crippling for some people if they're trying to make money off their video. But for me personally, not a problem. I just don't want anyone else making money off my videos because I'm not a big fan of advertising. Anyway, so that was in the past. And then more recently, I had an issue with Little Inferno. I was playing through that, and the first thing was the in-catalogue music. When you look at the things that you can buy to burn, the music there is I can't recall the name of the piece. I'll put it in the comments. But that piece of music is under copyright, and it's a shame. It's a nice, chirpy piece of music. It's like one you commonly hear, and you would maybe normally think this is gonna be fine. You know, I hear it so often. You know, I've seen other Let's Plays of Little Inferno, and it was on there. But you can't claim it. It is a copyright. It is owned by a company. I do worry that maybe the money from the money going for the music isn't going to the family of the person who wrote the music. A classic creator of music, born back in 1930s. I think he was the original creator of it. He's written many great pieces of music in that way. Some of it you might consider elevator music, but it's just lovely, beautiful little tunes. And so that what I had to do was I had to go back and I removed the music from the first few videos, and then I removed all music from the game. I turned music off entirely, and I recorded pieces of free music in there. I went to a place called the Free Music Archive, which is a great site. I'll put a link in the description of this video. If you do anything like this yourself, please go to Free Music Archive. They are a great site where you can get lots of very good music. You can easily search for many different genres and styles, and a lot of great pieces of music in there, everything from short songs to clips. And so I went through, and every time I opened up the catalogue in Little Inferno in-game, I recorded a separate piece of music to go over it. I faded it in and out, and it was more editing than I've ever done before in a video, and it was a bit of a pain. But I understood that I had to do it. It was reasonable that the copyright claim on the previous piece of music was valid. Then it came to the last or so episode, last 1 or 2 episodes of the game, and there was a piece where the little boy has burned his house down. If this sounds crazy, then just watch the game and see what I mean by this. But the child heads outside, and I knew there was some different music towards the end of the game, and I wanted a slightly mournful music. Obviously, because you burnt your house down, and the little boy's out on the streets. So I got another piece of music from the Free Music Archive, like I've done many times before, like my outro music and various other ones that I've taken, and I use that. Now, all this music, when I look it up on the Free Music Archive, is under something called the Common Usage License, and you can search for things based upon the licenses that are applicable to the music. And this particular case is that, I forget the exact terminology, but it's something along the lines of you can use this piece of music by the creators. You've been authorized to use this piece of music. You're allowed to modify the piece of music, but you can't monetize it, and you must credit them, which is all fine for me. I don't monetize things. That's not a problem at all. This is a hobby for me. I'm just here to entertain people. And what I do with all my music, if you ever check the description level of my videos, you'll see through there various things. I'll write a little bit of bump about the video, and then I'll write links to various parts to do with my creations, my YouTube, my stream sites, and everything else. And I will always put on there every piece of music, from the outro to anything I've used in there, will be fully attributed in there. The name of the music, who wrote it, and a link to the Free Music Archive, in this case, where you can go to and find that song. That's what I do all the way through. And it's not been a problem. Okay? And unfortunately for this one, is it called Canyon Breeze by Montana Skies? Name of the song. I'd love to play it for you, but I'm not going to copyright strike. Go and check out the last episode, and you'll see what I mean. I got a copyright strike on this notification. It's not a strike, a notification of this by a company called The Orchard. And I said that in a dramatic voice for various reasons. You can look up The Orchard and comments about The Orchard on Google, and you can look it up on YouTube themselves. And lots of people have had problems with The Orchard. In some cases, so The Orchard they manage copyright for. I'm probably describing this badly, but they manage copyright for creators. Okay, creators are said to be they work the Orchard manages their rights for them, and they make sure they get attributed those rights in various cases, and I presume they promote them in various ways as well. Now, the Orchard, depending on what you see on there, is the devil incarnate. Okay, there have been cases where people have had videos where they've had no music on it at all, and they've had a copyright match from the Orchard. There's other people, there's some very angry people on YouTube who've said that they've had a great deal of trouble with them, and they've had copyright strikes for no reason whatsoever, for things they've created themselves. I did find one, though, where it was a more positive piece of feedback. I'll put a link in the description again to the chap who wrote this video and said that how he managed this particular dispute, and I'll tell you how I did it. So first of all, I went through the usual process of going through the YouTubes, and I wrote the comment on there, and I said, this is why this is free music. It's on the Free Music Archive. Here's the details. I felt I'm repeating myself here. This is stuff that's in my comments, but there you go. Here's all the information. It's free. I'm not due copyright. And strictly speaking, there's about 30 days over which this needs to be resolved. And on your video, YouTube will tell you how long before this must be resolved. And it got towards the end of this date, and then suddenly I got a message back to say, no, it's been upheld by the copyright owner. This is copyright proof, and not what's more, you've not got a strike at this point here. You've not got a strike on your record, but if you protest it again directly with the copyright owner, you may end up with a strike on your account. And this was quite a shock to me, to say the least. And to put it bluntly, I was a little angry. Now you may, if you're a regular to my channel, you may think this funny guy, he's quite jolly. You know, he's funny British accent and everything else. But no, I have a very bad temper. A very bad temper, and when it kicks off, it really goes wild. And I was frothing at the mouth. I was pretty mad, and I wasn't quite sure what to do about it. But I'd seen this other video by this other gentleman about how he went through the protests for this, and I thought, well, you know, I could just leave it. That's one option. You could just say whatever. My video had 40 or so views on it, and probably wasn't going to gain a lot more. Go ahead, the Orchard. Take all the advertising revenue you can out of my video. You wouldn't be able to buy a penny sweet with it. It's fine. Whatever. Here's my 2 fingers. Get lost. Or I could do something about it. And the principle was, you know, I thought that I don't care the fact that I don't care if it's monetized. I didn't want these guys monetizing it either. So I went through the process that you're supposed to. I went through the dispute process properly. So what this means is you have to directly contact the company itself, the Orchard. And if you go to the Orchard's website, there is a section on there where you can contact them and raise disputes. And in fact, there's a separate section of disputes specifically for YouTube copyright matches. So I went to this and I filled out a fairly generic online form on their webpage, and I described pretty much exactly what I'd written in the YouTube dispute. I wrote exactly the same thing. I said, this is why the music's free, this is where I found it, this is how I attribute it, this is how I follow the rules. Well, you know, why not? Just do it anyway. There's nothing else I can do. I didn't get angry. I'd have calmed down by this point here. I didn't get angry. I was very polite. I deal with angry customers a lot for various reasons, and in my general work. And I thought, let's just take a step back. Let's not be angry now. Let's be polite in the thing. So I was polite and as clear as possible, and I finished it with something along the lines of, "Can you please tell me why you think copyright still applies?" Emailed it off. 24 hours later, I got an email back from YouTube and the Orchard saying, your dispute has been cleared. There you go. Pretty much as simple as that. Nothing. There you go. No more copyright strikes. We agree. It's right. We can't copyright this piece of music. It's not applicable in your case. So, okay. Thank you very much. Now, at the end of this, you may think to yourself, you know, various angles. Maybe they looked at my video and thought, yeah, it isn't worth monetizing this. It really isn't. Or maybe they are trying to rip people off in other cases. Or maybe no, they haven't got any right to claim to it. They're just hoping that they might get a big hit off something that goes viral and they can claim a lot of money out of it. Maybe lots of things. Maybe the other people that have gone to them with complaints and sworn at them, you know, they've gone, whatever, I'm going to keep it going. I can behave like I've... Maybe they're impressed with the fact that I was polite and I was clear and I was concise. Maybe lots of things. You know, these guys, if they're dealing with complaints at the time, maybe it's that. They're like, we're the complaints section now. We do a complaints all the time. We've had enough of it. Anyone coming in just blaring swear words, everything at us, is just going to get a bad reaction because we're not in the mood to deal with it. You know, who knows? But the point is, I went through the procedure. I was annoyed, but I stayed calm. And if you're in the same situation, I would advise the same thing. If you, when I first had that piece of music that was involved in game in Little Inferno, I knew that I had no leg to stand on. It didn't matter that I really wanted to desperately include. It was in-game music. Just let me use it for goodness sake. I'm not monetizing it. I didn't even bother trying to touch that. Yeah, I knew that I had to go around this. In this case, I addressed it clearly. I knew I was in the right, and that doesn't always get you a win. But in this case, I think I did everything the right way. So if you are in the situation, if you're an uploader of any sort, and you have the same sort of thing, stay calm. Don't panic, don't stress. Go for the procedure the way they want you to. It's a matter of ticking boxes and doing whatever you can. If you ever want to see what I did, how I presented my case to somebody, you can ask me, and I'll contact me through my various different channels, and I will send it to you, and I will help to guide you through it. And the point is, don't stress, okay? I know copyright is a big issue, and maybe a lot of people are being diddled by these things. Maybe they are. They're being conned. But in this case, it worked out very well and very smoothly. And maybe if I'd have, at the start, when I'd gone to the YouTube process, rather than waiting 30 days, if at the very start I'd gone to the orchard straight away and said, by the way, this is going through YouTube right now, just to clarify, in case you hadn't got the message, this is why it should be copyright free. What do you think? And maybe it would have resolved it right at the start. I don't know. Just a story of what happened to me, to you, to hopefully reassure you that it's not necessarily all doom and gloom. Stay calm, go through the system and see what happens. So there you go. It's a little different from me, wasn't it? I hope you, if you've not been enjoying this quite so much, I hope you've enjoyed me driving around shooting things in my tank instead. Because, you know, I could have done this on a webcam, but I'm not a webcam kind of guy. I don't have a face for webcams. I haven't got a back of my head for webcams, quite frankly. But, you know, I put something on in the background to keep you amused. Great stuff. Thanks for listening. I hope this has helped you out there, or at least been supportive in some way. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time.